moving back home to Michigan. Hey guys, what's up? It is Kayla. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And whether this is your first time or you're a returning subscriber, I am here with a major life update / Q&A, and things are about to change for me, for my content. Whew, it's a lot. But I wanted to have a little sit down video. I hardly ever do these anymore, and just kind of explain what's going on, why I'm making these choices, and what the future holds. So first, I'm going to get into some things that I just wanted to talk about and fill you guys in on. And then I also asked some questions over on my Instagram, and I will be going through some of my answers to those. Let's get into the title of the video, which is why I'm leaving New York City. For those of you who don't know, I've lived in New York City for almost 7 years. I'm originally from Michigan, the Metro Detroit area, and I went to undergrad in Michigan at Eastern Michigan University. And straight after college, I knew I wanted to be a journalist. I knew I wanted to live in New York City since I was probably like 8 years old. So I knew that I needed to branch out, get out of Michigan, and like basically follow my dreams. So I got into Syracuse University for a master's program, and obviously that's not New York City, but it was getting me into New York State. You know, we're making moves. I wanted to make new connections, strong connections, internships. Like, I knew I needed more to be able to be a successful journalist. So I left Eastern Michigan University, I left my mom's house, and I moved to Syracuse all by myself. And I had a great program, loved it so much. I studied arts journalism. It was an accelerated program, so I was only there for about a year. And straight after that year, I moved to New York City. So that is where the New York City journey started. For the sake of time, I won't go into every detail of my career and life in New York, but if you're interested, please ask me more questions. I am always happy to talk about that. But that was back in 2017 when I moved to New York City, and I've been here ever since. It is the end of 2023. It is the end of an era, and I'm feeling so nostalgic and truly sad and heartbroken, honestly, to be leaving the city and the community that I've built here. I was able to become a successful journalist. I am currently a senior editor over on the BuzzFeed shopping team. I love my job so much, and I work fully remote. So I actually this is one of the main questions I've gotten just chatting with people. I will be staying at my job. I will still be working at BuzzFeed. I work fully remote ever since 2020, since COVID, and they are really chill about letting people, you know, have that flexibility of moving to another state. So because I work fully remote, I will be keeping my job at BuzzFeed, which I'm so grateful for. To be honest, I don't even know if I'd be leaving New York if I wasn't able to keep my job. So yeah, I'm super thankful for that. All right, so why I'm leaving New York City. And you know, I'm always talking about how much I love it. If you follow me on any social media, you know that New York is a huge part of my life. Like, I talk about it constantly. I'm always doing stuff in the city. Like, I am not someone who spends a lot of time in their apartment or like just chilling at all. Like, I take advantage of the city. I have been to probably all of the major touristy things, so many restaurants, museums, just everything, parties, clubs. Like, I've done all the different layers of things there is to do in New York. Of course, no one can ever do everything in New York, but I have tasted bits and pieces of so much that the city has to offer, believe that. I feel like a New York City ambassador with how much I talk about it and how much I post about it. So obviously a lot of people are surprised that I'm deciding to leave. Some people come to New York and they don't like it. They don't like the fast pace. They don't like how expensive it is, how kind of dirty and gross it is, because I mean it is. And I get that. I had a really hard first year here, like so many people do. But the reason I am leaving is, honestly, I want to be more financially stable and responsible. That is really the number one reason, is my own financial stability. So I lived with a roommate all of my years in New York City up until last year, 2022. Me and my best friend Kaylina decided it was time for us to get our own apartments, and we both make, you know, good salaries. It made sense. We lived together for years, like more than 4 years we lived together, and so it was time. But because I've had so many bad experiences in New York, I'm talking like bed bugs, mice, roaches, holes in the ceiling, like crazy stuff, I decided that I only wanted to live in a newer building, preferably a luxury building. And as a single person, that is not easy. New York is so expensive. Even for crappy apartments, it's expensive. Like, let's be real. So yeah, I had high standards. I don't regret it, because I already knew if I don't have a roommate or like someone there with me, I can't handle dealing with the anxiety that comes with all of those issues of, you know, freaking rodents and bugs and just like things that I don't want to spend my mental capacity dealing with. So I did find this beautiful luxury apartment. If you didn't see, I do have an apartment tour. I'll link that below. It's a beautiful 1-bedroom, floor to ceiling windows. You know, you can see that natural light coming in. And I truly love this apartment. Like, I have a kitchen island, I have a rooftop with grills, there's a gym, there's a movie room, there's laundry, not in unit but in the building, and it's a beautiful place to live. I'm in Queens, which I've lived in Queens for most of my time in New York, so I know the area really well, and I just do really love this apartment. Which brings me to the rent situation. So when I signed my lease for this apartment, I had a feeling I could probably only afford this for a short period of time. Like, I just knew, it wasn't the best financial decision, like, I'll be straight up. But I also knew I was kind of debating leaving New York soon anyway. I just didn't know where I wanted to go. I still don't, but we'll get to that. So I signed a 1-year lease and got 2 months free, so it's technically 14 months instead of 12, and I signed it at a price that was like a deal, like a promotion kind of, because the building's brand new and they were trying to fill it. So the thing is, it's not rent stabilized, and I got a deal, and I was aware of these things. So I have been paying $2,800 a month every month for the last 14 months. That is a lot of money. I'm sure no one will deny that is a lot of money. And I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I am not in Manhattan. So that's already crazy. I was like, okay, I can do it. That is a lot of my income. I will just say that. And so when the year ended, it's time for me to renew my lease. The new monthly price, without the previous promotion I had, because that year is over, my new rent price is $3,350 a month for a 1-bedroom in Queens. And again, my building is beautiful. I have hosted, I have shot so much content, all my friends love it, I decorated, I felt very at home here. But I cannot pay over $3,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment by myself. Like, I just literally can't. Student loans are coming back. I do have student loans, so I have to make student loan payments starting next month in December. And I have just been racking up the credit card debt since I've lived here. Like, it's already been a struggle. Like, the credit card debt, Ubers, ordering groceries, just everything is a lot of money, and I've been doing it alone completely, 100% on my own. And I'm grateful to have like a well-paying job and a job that I love. And I even make some money doing content. Like, I do have a pretty decent side hustle. So I'm working my butt off, but I'm not being financially responsible. I'm spending like half of my income on rent basically, and I'm still someone who likes to go out, who likes to travel, who likes to spend time with friends and go out to eat, just all these things. With an economy that is shit right now, and inflation is wild, and just like all these things you guys already know, plus the fact that I am single and living alone, and I don't have, you know, parents who can pay my rent, you know, like I just don't. And I love my family, they're always, you know, they're super supportive, but like a lot of people in New York who like have this beautiful luxurious lifestyle have families that can like help support it. And of course not everyone, I'm definitely not saying that, but I have experienced many people who have that leeway where like if they get laid off, their parents can cover their rent. My parents cannot cover my rent, and like I wouldn't want to ask them to. So it's just time for me to stop living on eggshells financially and be a big girl and get my shit together. So I decided that I cannot sign this lease again. I cannot pay that much in rent, and it is time. So now that I took a very long time explaining why I'm leaving New York, I'm going to try to move a little bit quicker through the rest of my questions. I do have them on my phone, and I'm just gonna try not to be long-winded because I love to talk to y'all. But so where am I going? So I am moving back home to Michigan. Not home as in my mom's house, because my mom and stepdad actually don't live there anymore. They moved to South Carolina. But my dad still lives in Michigan. My aunt still lives in Michigan. And you know, my uncle, some of my cousins, like actually my grandma, a decent amount of my family still lives in Michigan. So I am actually going to be moving in with my aunt, and she offered me the most amazing, gracious, just like unbelievable living situation ever. She has a big house, and it has like a basement apartment, fully finished, like I'm talking kitchen, bathroom, living room, everything. And she offered for me to stay there until I kind of like, you know, figure out, get my financial footing, figure out what I'm gonna do. And I just couldn't say no to that. It's a beautiful apartment, it's a beautiful house area, everything. And so many families, you know, or people just like aren't able to offer that kind of help and support. And so I just am grateful, and I don't want to pass that up. So I'm going to stay with my aunt, but I will still kind of have my own apartment, which is just like crazy and amazing. My little cousin lives there too, so I'll be able to spend time with her, which is super exciting. All right, what are my plans for the future? So I don't plan on staying in Michigan forever. I actually have kind of a between 1 and 2 years time limit that I'm giving myself. I feel nervous even saying that out loud because I like to just do things. I don't like to like tell everyone what I'm planning on doing, but just to put out there in the universe, I plan on staying there for maybe like a year and a half, and just really get my money together. I have a strict saving plan and a very strict paying off my credit card plan. And that is really the goal of being in Michigan, is to get my finances together. Obviously, I'm not saying I'll never do anything fun. I do have friends there. I plan to see them. I plan to do some traveling. But yeah, my first goal is definitely to get my money together. And once that happens, I haven't decided yet what I'm doing. So after I have more money and flexibility, I want to, again, spend more time traveling and maybe decide I want to move somewhere else completely random. Right now, my options are, I could come back to New York. I don't know if I will, but it's a possibility. I never say never. Also have considered LA. Maybe I'll try the West Coast. I don't know. I've never lived in the West Coast or really explored a lot of the West Coast. So maybe LA. And then a very far-fetched idea, but you never know, is I feel like I could see myself living in London. And I don't know, maybe my future husband's in London. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. Where could you see me living in the future? Please, I want to know what y'all think. So drop that down in the comments, please. Actually, that's a really good segue into the next question, which is what's going on with my dating and, you know, love life now that I'm leaving New York. So this is definitely not something I am going to go into too much detail about, but I have been dating someone in New York since February. He's super cool, and we're not official. We haven't been. It's very chill, like it's very low-key. That's why, like, I'm not about to be posting him, he's not posting me, like we're not talking about none of the details. That said, I'm moving, and like, yeah, we're not even official, so we're not like making it work or anything like that. We are so cool, we've talked about it, and like, yeah, I feel like we're gonna have just like a very gracious fake up. That's what I'm calling our fake breakup, a fake up. And I do have plans to see him before I leave, and you know, like, it's bittersweet, it's sad, but we also knew for a while we don't have the same goals. Like, he doesn't want to get married and I do, and we've been very upfront about those things. So sometimes you just have to appreciate experiences for what they are, and it's hard, but yeah, I appreciate the time we spent together almost all of this year. He's, again, so cool, so sweet, and like was such a good experience for me to date someone who really was just so respectful and really just was like a good person to hang out with. So I am single. I haven't not been single, but like I am definitely still single, and I am hoping that my dating life evolves. I'm not necessarily looking to settle down in Michigan, like I said, so I'm not like, dating is not my main focus, but I do want to get married and have kids one day. And as much as I hate to admit it, like, women do have a biological clock, so I'm definitely open to love, open to dating, but I can't say it's like my #1 priority. It's just not. So also, good segue, I am turning 30 soon. I am turning 30 in January 20th, and that means that this is all happening at a very wild time. Like, I am turning 30 in 2 months, and I'm moving, and I'm leaving my home for the last 7 years. I'm single, and like, I'm just at that point where I have no idea what's going on and what's about to happen. And I know so many people in their late 20s and early 30s feel that way too. So like, I don't feel like it's weird, and I don't feel bad about it. I just am accepting that who knows what the heck is about to happen in my life, and I just want to be open to the blessings, open to wherever this journey takes me. And even though it is scary, like, don't get me wrong, y'all, I am very anxious about it, but I just want to be positive and have a positive mindset. So I am hopeful. Let's put all the good vibes out in the world, that I can get my money together in year 30 and figure out, you know, where my next adventure is, and then maybe even find love. Who knows? We're, you know, we're speaking things, we're being positive. So that is where I'm at with turning 30 soon, and obviously I will have way more content about like turning 30 in the upcoming months, so be on the lookout for that. And now that I've touched on a lot of the like main stuff, I did have some more like questions coming on Instagram that I definitely want to talk about a little bit. So someone asked me about like a little bit of New York City advice. So what are some of the cheapest and most expensive places to live in New York City? To be honest, I don't fully know. Again, I live in Queens. The further out of Manhattan you get, the cheaper it's gonna be. The difference is you get further away from like public transportation, you get further away from just like the downtown city vibes. So you know, a lot of people that live further out in like, we say deep Brooklyn or like deep Bronx or deep Queens, a lot of those people are driving probably, you know, things are more spread out, it's more chill. So it's very concentrated in the Manhattan area and the surrounding areas. So if you go, you know, to like Brooklyn, but it's close to Manhattan, so like Williamsburg, Bushwick, like places like that, or if you are in Queens, you're like Astoria, Long Island City, all those places are closer to Manhattan. So those places are more expensive. And I do live in Astoria, Queens. I'm saying that now because I'm leaving. So don't look for me, don't try to find me. I'm leaving. I'm leaving when this is posted. So don't try to find me. But yeah, so I am closer to Manhattan. It's really easy to get to, super convenient. And so yeah, it is a little bit more expensive. It didn't used to be this expensive though, I will say. Like I lived in Astoria for years and years, and it is way more expensive now. So prices are just going up. I heard that the average rent in Manhattan is like $5,000 or something. So prices are just continuing to go up, and to be honest, I don't know when they're ever gonna go back down. I mean, I'm sure they will eventually, but like I don't think it's gonna be soon. So anyway, that's my perspective. If you are moving to New York City and you want something cheaper, I would say be open to having a car. I haven't had a car at all in the city, and it's been great, but I would say be open to having a car and living further out. So if you live in deep Queens, deep Brooklyn, and the Bronx is a lot, I feel like a lot less of the touristy stuff. So as a lot of people that are from the Bronx live in the Bronx in my experience, and it is a little cheaper there though. I do have a friend who currently lives in the Bronx, and her rent is cheaper than mine, and she has a 2-bedroom apartment. So I mean, you know, it is what it is. Staten Island, I can't tell you nothing about that because I have been there one time in my whole 7 years, so I don't know about that. But yeah, and if you really are set on living in Manhattan, have some roommates. That's my best advice. Have some freaking roommates, because that rent is crazy and the apartments are tiny. Harlem is a little bit less expensive than the rest of Manhattan, and I love Harlem truly, but we're still talking like tiny space, a lot of old buildings. So yeah, you just really have to do your due diligence in looking. Try not to pay astronomical broker fees if you don't have to, and yeah, you're gonna want to look at like a lot of apartments in a short amount of time because they also go really quickly. Anyway, let me move on. I could talk about New York apartments all day, but the next question was luxury apartment do's and don'ts. So I love my luxury apartment. Highly would recommend. I had no bugs, I had no maintenance issues, I was able to host here, sleep comfortably. I loved it. I highly would recommend a luxury building. The only problem is they are freaking expensive. So again, be open to having a roommate. If you have a partner that you can live with and split rent, awesome, amazing, love that for you. Definitely take advantage of the amenities. I feel like so many people move into these luxury buildings, pay for the luxury of having amenities, and then don't use them. So please use your amenities. I've used the rooftop, I've used the gym, I've used the laundry a lot, I use the movie room, I've had movie nights, and I use my little balcony, everything. So please, if you're gonna pay for a luxury building, use the amenities. That's my biggest do, honestly. Don't try not to be too blindsided by how nice it is. Like, really think about your budget. Think about if you can comfortably afford it, and think about all the other factors. So my luxury building is not by a subway. I have to take the bus to get to the subway. I would have been really concerned about that if I didn't work from home, but because I work from home full time, it hasn't been too bad. If I had to go to the office every day, I probably would need an apartment closer to the subway. So even though luxury buildings are really nice, think about all the factors. Think about, you know, can you afford this? Is it worth it, like if you have to go to work every day? And what are any extra fees? Like, make sure you ask, because I did not have to pay a broker's fee. I do not have to pay to use my amenities. Obviously my rent is high, but some people have to pay their rent plus a fee to use the amenities and maybe a broker's fee or something. So don't be sucked in with just accepting the first nice place you see, because there is probably something better out there for you. right, and getting into the big move. How am I going to move all of my things? So I hired a moving company. So Michigan is about I think it's a 10-hour drive from New York. I was not about to drive a U-Haul for 10 hours. Quick story, when I left Syracuse, I drove a U-Haul. I packed it myself, completely alone, 100%, no help. Packed a U-Haul by myself, drove it 4 hours from Syracuse to New York City, and it was horrible. I did it, I got through it, but I was like, I can't do that again. Me and my friends have moved again, like me and my best friend Kaylina, we've moved a couple times within the city. We did move things ourselves a couple times, but I think it was our last move. No, the move before, so the last 2 moves, we hired movers, and I am never looking back. I am never looking back. I hired movers. I'm going with Piece of Cake Moving. They're like the big pink trucks, if you guys have seen those, and I love them. I used them when I moved into this apartment, so this is my 2nd time using them. All right, next question is, am I excited? Whew, it is bittersweet. I don't want to say I'm not excited, because I am a little bit. I'm really excited for some financial comfort, some financial stability. I'm really excited about that, and I am excited to decorate my new space. I love decorating, and of course I'm excited to see my family. I'm very excited to spend more time with them. So yeah, I'm excited, but it is so bittersweet. I am very sad to be leaving my friends in New York. They have been my family for years now, and I just love them so much. So yes and no. How often will I visit New York City? I keep joking with my friends and my coworkers that I'm still gonna post more New York City content and be in New York City more than the average person. I definitely plan on visiting often. I actually am going to be back already in January, so in 2 months-ish, for my 30th birthday. I just thought there was no other way to turn 30 than having a party with my best friends in New York. So I'll be back in 2 months, and then honestly probably 2 months after that, and maybe 2 or 3 months after that. So I will definitely be back to New York City multiple times throughout the year, and yeah, I will be back. What will I miss the most about living in New York City? The people. I mean, 100%. That's my #1 answer. My friends, my community, my best friends. That is #1, because they are truly so important to me, and they're so amazing and beautiful and creative, and I will just miss being around them. We are together all the time. Like, my really great friend Leah lives down the street, and she literally comes over every single week at some point. We go to so many things together. My best friend Kaylina, we've grown up together since we were 14. We both are from Michigan, and we lived in New York together this whole time, and so it's really hard leaving her. My friends Anuli and Miriam and Aline, and oh gosh, sorry, I can name so many people, so I don't want to like forget anyone, but I have become so close with them, and they're just, I just am so sad to be leaving them. So anyway, I will miss the most my friends. Other than my friends, I will definitely miss this apartment. This apartment was great. It was beautiful. If it wasn't a gazillion dollars, I would stay. I will miss the diversity of the people here, the open-mindedness. Like, you could literally see, you could be humbled and see the most difficult situation, and you could also see the most glamorous, fantastic situation or place in the same day, in the same week, in the same hour. And I think that's beautiful about New York, because it really kind of keeps you grounded in an unexpected way. Like, you could be seeing this beautiful skyline and experiencing this amazing restaurant or this beautiful art, and you know, you also might be dealing with, you see a rat run by, you know, you walk past homeless people all the time, and or like you are struggling in your own type of way, because New York also will bring that out of you. And it's just this weird juxtaposition of it's a struggle, but we're all in it together. It's tough, but it's so exciting and beautiful, and I just feel like nowhere else is like that. And I know you guys have heard that before, but truly nowhere else is like New York. So I will just miss that energy, that creativity, that spontaneity. Like, I will miss all of that magic that is New York City. And other cities have, you know, different charm and different energy. Like, I love Detroit so much, and I'm excited to spend more time in Detroit. But man, there is something about New York City that is different. And if you haven't lived here, it might be hard to understand, but like, that energy is wild. And that brings me to our very last question. I know this is probably a long video, but how will I deal with my New York City withdrawals? And I love this question because it kind of ties everything together. One, I will visit. I am not leaving my friends in the dust. I will be back to visit them. I will be back to do all the freaking exhibits and restaurants and things that I want to do. So when I'm having withdrawals, I will come visit as often as I can. When that is not an option, I have tons of content on my phone, tons, that I have not posted because I take so much content. Like, I'm doing stuff in the city again so often that I don't have the time to edit and post it all. So when I'm having New York City withdrawals, I will probably go through some of that content and finally edit it and finally post it. So if you guys see some old ass content being posted and it's in New York City, just know that it means I'm finally going through my camera roll, and I'm probably missing New York a little extra. And then the other thing I would say about dealing with New York City withdrawals is trying to appreciate the journey for what it was, and also look forward to my next journey, because I always knew that I probably wouldn't live in New York City forever. Even though I loved it and it really feels like home to me, it's really expensive and it's really hard to make it work. And if I'm not from New York, I feel like a New Yorker sometimes, but I am not from New York. And so when you don't have family there and you don't have you know, like a serious relationship there or anything like that, it's really a tough place to make it work all by yourself. I am so grateful and happy that I did for the last almost 7 years, but I knew it wasn't sustainable unless, again, I fell in love and got married here, but I didn't, so, which is fine. But I just knew that I would go somewhere else eventually. And I'm still figuring out where that is. Right now, it's gonna be Michigan and the Detroit area. And I am excited to reconnect with my roots. Like, that is my true home. So I'm really excited about that. I wanted to explore Detroit, and I want to spend time with my family, like I've said, and really take a break a little bit, like, from my fast-paced life. Like, I kind of do want to have like a soft girl era, so I want to read more books. I want to, again, like, save money so I can comfortably travel more. I want to just kind of, you know, like, watch TV and not feel guilty that I'm missing out on something in the city. Again, me and my friends, we are so close and we do stuff together like daily or weekly, so I think some alone time won't be bad. Like, it'll be hard for me, but you know, it'll be good. I think I'm gonna grow a lot this year. I think 30 is gonna be very transformative, and it's time for me to finish packing up all this stuff because I'm moving in a couple days. And just thank you guys. Thank you for being here on this journey with me. Thank you for supporting me, and I hope that you continue to support me in my journey of Michigan and then figuring out where the heck I'm going after. And let me know what you want to see. Do you want to see more decorating my new place, or cool places to visit in Detroit? Just more fashion content because I'll have more time to style and film. Let me know what you guys are interested in. I really have appreciated growing this year on YouTube, and I want to do more. So I'm looking forward to my soft girl era. And just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and let me know if you have any other questions. But until then, peace out, homies.